Well, the January 6th insurrection is a key issue in at least one Virginia congressional race. CBS's Scott MacFarlane joins us with more on that. And Scott, what voters are talking about there in Virginia?
Hey, Jerika, good to be with you.
Yes.
Virginia is going to give us some of the earliest results on election night, an indication for each party of where that night could be headed nationwide. And one race is capturing outsized attention. Likely the only competitive race involving a member of that high-profile House Select January 6 committee.
At a farmer's market in Virginia Beach, there's one thing on voters' minds.
Food prices are bad. I mean, it's gone skyrocketed.
Prices of everything, gasoline, groceries. It's unreal.
Like in so many congressional races, inflation and abortion rights are dominating the debate between Democratic incumbent Congresswoman Elaine Luria and Republican challenger Jen Kiggans, both U.S. Navy veterans.
I think a woman should have a right to choice. We are suffering this year because of the failed policies of the Joe Biden administration.
Except this is a race and a campaign season like no other.
Donald Trump maliciously repeated this nonsense.
Because Luria isn't a typical incumbent. She's one of 9 members of Congress who became national figures, leading the House January 6 Select Committee.
Our hearings have shown the many ways in which President Trump tried to stop the peaceful transfer of power.
Her opponent slams Luria for focusing too much on the investigation.
So I think it shows that she's out of touch with this district.
Being on the committee is out of touch.
So focusing on January 6th, making that a priority, and using her celebrity on that committee to do things like fundraise. And I just think it's out of touch with what the voters of the 2nd District are really caring about right now.
Luria strikes back, criticizing Kiggans for questioning Virginia's 2020 election results, as State President Biden won by 10 points.
Is there any political peril to being a face of the January 6th committee in one of these toss-up, evenly split districts?
Honestly, I don't care. The truth about it is that the work that the committee is doing is so important, being on the right side of history, getting to the facts.
And Scott, speaking of history and historic, a number of people have done the early voting. Do we know whether or not that will benefit a particular party, the high turnout?
Certainly could. In 2018, there was an uncommonly large turnout for midterm elections, and Democrats swung 40 seats, including the one Elaine Luria won. Jerika, they will need a very large turnout Tuesday to preserve dozens of seats nationwide.
And we've said it before, we'll say it again. We shall see what happens. Scott MacFarlane, thanks.